right? We're going to open a meeting. Can I have a reading of the meeting's notice, please?
The Board of Directors of the School District of the City of Erie, PA will meet in regular session on Wednesday, March 13th, 2019 in the auditorium at East Middle School, 1001 Atkins Street at 6 p.m. by request of the President, Frank Petrunger, Jr.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Harkins?
Here.
Mrs. McNair? Here. Mr. Spagel?
Excused?
Mr. Titus?
Here.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Here. Mr. Cassillo?
Excused?
Mr. Fabrizi?
Here.
Mrs. Feeney?
Here.
Mr. Petrunger?
Here. Pledge of Allegiance led by Martin Nearso, sixth grade student from Woodrow Wilson Middle School, introduced by Miss Courtney Laver, assistant principal, followed by a moment of silence for John Jack Pikowicz, Jr., retired teacher who passed away on March 1st, 2019, and Louis Leone, retired engineer and past president of Local 1968, who passed away on March 6, 2019. Ms. Laver.
Thank you. Good evening. It's my pleasure to introduce to you one of our sixth grade honors students, Marnar So. Marnar So is the son of Ekuse and Kyang So. He has two siblings, Pao So and Keku. Amongst some of his favorite activities, he loves learning and spending time with others. My favorite thing that he wrote down for any plans for the future, he simply replies, "Yes, sir," wants to be famous. So, without further ado, Marnar.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, of liberty and justice for all. Please have a moment of silence.
Dude, you are famous.
Thank you so much.
Like the pizza.
This month, the board is pleased to honor Mr. Michael Outlaw as our community supporter for his support of diversity, unity, and inclusion in our schools. Mr. Outlaw serves as the community liaison for the mayor's office of the city of Erie. In honor of Black History Month, Mr. Outlaw collaborated with our district's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department to give 4 of our students the opportunity of a lifetime by serving as mayor for the day for the city of Erie. Each of our 4 EPS students chosen were selected due to their demonstration of positive behavior and desire to succeed in the classroom. One of the primary strategic goals of our district is to promote diversity and inclusion in our schools, and you will hear firsthand account of the positive experience these students had as a mayor for the day later during this board meeting. On behalf of our students and families, the board would like to extend our thanks to Mr. Outlaw and the mayor's office for helping to bring this unique educational opportunity to life for our students. So at this time, I would like to invite Mr. Michael Outlaw to the stage to accept this recognition. Recognition of students who perform extraordinarily well on the collegiate boards while participating in the middle school talent search project, presented by Ms. Paula Zikorsky, Assessment Coordinator.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to present the results of the 2017-18 Middle School Talent Search. The PSAT was given to 141 of our 7th and 8th grade students in the fall of 2017. Of those students, 79 exceeded the average score for college-bound sophomores and were included in SAT prep classes prior to taking the College Board in June of 2018. I am pleased to announce that we had 37 students who scored at or above the 50th percentile rank in evidence-based reading and writing and/or math, relative to a college-bound senior. With the help from Mr. Vieira, Mr. Cosgrove, Mrs. Gloystein, and Mrs. Laver, we will now honor the students who have achieved these accomplishments.
Thank you, Paulette. Mr. Polito, Mr. Petronger, members of the board, Ms. Zabersky, it's my pleasure to present to you this year's talent search. And we're going to start off with a student from East High School, Yashada Ray. Ainsley Corrales. Incidentally, Ainsley and the rest of them are going to be from Strong Vincent. Amber Comey. Joseph Koppel. Zachary Dazinski.
Congratulations, that's an outstanding achievement.
Aurora Fuchs.
Congratulations.
Emma Matthews. Alexander Matson. Erica Stanton.
Congratulations.
Daniel Stovall. Savannah Wolfram.
Great job.
Attaboy.
From Wilson, or beginning Wilson Middle School, Romeo Becerra. Romero, excuse me.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Great job.
Kylie Zerkowski. Bella Eibel.
Congratulations.
Miranda Gala.
Great job.
Congratulations.
Brawin Heisler.
Congratulations.
Darren Johnson.
Congratulations.
Ellie Lomberg. Briley Pluchek. Patrick Rye.
Congratulations.
Hey, congratulations. Great job.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
What's that? Finally, joining us this evening also is Mr. Kashindi, and he is from East Middle School also.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You've been working on it. I'm so proud of you.
We now have the presentation by students who participated in Mayor for the Day in honor of Black History Month, introduced by Mr. Ken Nixon, Coordinator of Educational Equity and Diversity. Mr. Nixon.
Thank you, Mr. Petranger. In this February 2019, we had our first ever Mayor for the Day, where we had 4 African-American students, excuse me, 2 male, 2 female, that went down and were Mayor for the Day. So they started off their day with, at 8:30, getting picked up by Chief Guy Santone, driven down in a fire truck SUV, where they met Mayor Schember and Mr. Outlaw, who was one of our community recognition tonight. Actually, Mr. Outlaw was an integral part in this whole event. The students went down, they met with Mayor Schember, they participated, they got to tour the fire station, they got to tour the police station, as well as be part of the reform plans that the mayor's putting together, and have lunch. So it was a great event, and so what we want to do is just quickly take a moment to have each student come up and to be able to read their letter that they had that is a reflection of their day. So I don't see this young man, but I was going to start with Ahmad Tolbert Page. So Ahmad, if you're here, would you come up? Okay, so looks like I got the short stick here, and I'll take it. So Ahmad Tolbert Page is an 8th grader at Wilson, and I'll just go real quick. I said, hi, my name is Ahmad Tolbert Page, and I was blessed to have the chance to shadow the Erie Mayor for a day. But that's not the only thing I did. First, I was scooped up by a fireman SUV by Erie Fireman Chief Guy Santone. I got driven to City Hall. When I got to City Hall, I was given my mayor badge thing and my ID thing to go around my neck. I spoke to the mayor's assistant, the people that do ads, make Erie events possible, and stuff like that. I watched Mayor Schember practice his speech for a couple minutes in the office. Then he went down to the big auditorium thing, and he practiced there also. He gave the speech in front of a whole bunch of people and called me up. I sat back down and watched the rest of everything take place. After that, I was driven to a fire department by Chief Guy Santone. One of the firemen showed me almost, or pretty much everything on a fire truck. We went outside and I got on the ladder. It extended me about 70 feet in the air. It was scary, but exciting. Then I was let down off the ladder and back onto the ground. I hopped in the fire truck, got driven back to City Hall, and said my farewells to the firefighters. I had to wait a little second for the chief of police and another police officer to come and give me a tour of the police department. They showed me the detective offices where the police officers are taught things, where criminals get their mugshots taken, a shooting practice for police officers, and they told me a couple stories along the way. We also went to the parking lot and showed me where things go in police cars, like guns, tapes, gloves, and gadgets like that. I said my farewells to chief of police and was driven back to my school in a police car. I thank everybody involved in letting me participate in the Black History Month Mayor for the Day. Everyone have a great day. So that was Ahmad Tolbert Page. Yeah, we can give him some love. I know we did call and confirm he must have got jammed up with a rod. I know Dad said he might have at work, but I know our other 3 students are here, so I'd like to call them up. And they are a little nervous about speaking in front of everybody, but I told them it's their reflection of the day, so don't be nervous. Go right at it. So we're going to start with Joshua Stepp Jr. from East Middle School. Joshua?
So one day I woke up around 7 o'clock, happy, just to get ready to go to my Mayor of the Day. So I got picked for being good and doing better in school and stuff like that. And then I went to my school, East Middle School, and then we seen this police dude. I thought he was the mayor, but he wasn't. Then he picked us up in a police cruiser to drive us to City Hall. So he gave me my badge, and I put it on my shirt, and then we just kept driving to City Hall. So when we went to City Hall, his manager assistant named Mr. Outlaw was upstairs, but the mayor wasn't there yet. So he was there, and then that's when we ended up taking some pictures and stuff. And then that's when my counselor, Miss Rachel, was there. They wanted to take some pictures with me and the mayor, but the mayor wasn't there yet. And then that's when she ended up having to leave because it was her time to go back to work. And then that's when we ended up meeting some cool people around the building and stuff. And then that's when we went back up to the mayor's office to see him, so we finally saw him. And then I shook his hand, and then I introduced myself, and then he gave me some cool pens. One of them lighted up, and then the other one lighted up as well. And then I sat at his desk to act like I was working, took some pictures, and I was kind of nervous. And then it was fun because I never got to sit at a desk like that, and his office was really cool. And then we left, and then we went to a place, I forget what it was called, to be on the news for a conference. And then he gave me a shout out, and then we were on the news, and then he gave me a cool folder. It said Mayor of the Day. And then that's when he read it to the news, and I got kind of nervous because I didn't want to go up there. And then we ended up leaving with his assistant, Mr. Outlaw, to go eat, but the mayor wasn't there because he had a very busy schedule. We ended up going to Pineapple Eddie's, and then I got some chicken wings and a burger. And then they all got crab tail salads and stuff like that.
Oh, man.
And then that's when we left, and then I went to the underground place to see the policemen and the SWAT trucks and stuff. I went in the police SWAT truck. I tried to knock on it, and then I didn't hear anything. And then so it was like, he said, "What is it?" I said, "What is it?" And then he said, "It's heavy metal." And then I tried to knock on it again, and then it hurt my hand. And then we went inside. He seen a lot of weapons and a lot of things they kicked down the doors with. And then he took us to the shooting range. There was a lot of bullet holes in the ground, shooting at different targets and stuff. It was like a bunch of little fuzzy stuff that shot from the bullets. And then that's when he started up the ambulance when we went there, and then I was able to turn the lights on, and I got scared because it was like a loud beep, and then I got scared. And then that's when he took us back up to Mr. Outlaw, and then he showed us more around the building, and then he took us back to my dad's car, and then that was my Mayor of the Day.
Awesome job. Let us know what they do.
We're getting a real dose of authenticity here.
Yes.
The kid's perspective,
It's awesome.
which I think is awesome. Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Petronger. All right, so next up, I'm going to bring up Mahogany Knight. So Mahogany is from East Middle School. She'll head her way down.
Hi, my name is Mahogany Knight. On February 21st, I was chosen to be mayor for the day. My day started when I came to school at the Fire Chief Guy Santone met me in the office, then drove me to Erie City Hall. The first thing I did was took a picture and they put it on a name tag. Then I met Mr. Mike and Miss Neekin at the front office. Mr. Mike took me to meet Mayor Joe Schember so he could tour me through City Hall. Next, I participated in a discussion on the Erie Refocus Plan and shared thoughts on Erie's future. After that, we toured the Erie Police Station and rode in a police cruiser. From cruising in the police car, I was took to our fire truck. The day ended with lunch with Mayor Joe Schember's staff, Mr. Mike. It was a fun experience to have because I got to see what the police, firemen, and Mayor Joe Schember do in their daily life. And if I wanted to do what they do in my future, I could say I already had experience of what they do. I thank whoever chose me to have this opportunity to have fun. Thank you.
Conquering fear, every student. So the last young lady we had was Cameron Flowers, and she comes from Strong Vincent Middle School.
Okay, wait. I was so nervous. My heart is beating so fast. I was nervous about February 28th for the 3 weeks leading up to the day. The morning started like any other ordinary school day, even though it was far from it. I woke up, brushed my teeth, got dressed, and did my hair. Walking into my classroom had always felt so normal before, but on February 28th, I had a whole different feeling. I kept thinking to myself, I hope I don't get any extra attention today. I'm already nervous enough. I began doing my work, just like everyone else, and then suddenly I heard Mrs. Gloystein's voice. "The fire chief is here to pick you up, Mayor," she shouted. I could feel 50 eyes staring at me as I got up out of my seat. Mrs. G snapped a quick picture of my classmates and me, and my day really began. I've never actually been in a car with someone I never met before, and the silence was awkward. However, the fire chief was very kind and genuine. Every now and then a topic of conversation would come up, and we'd talk for a little while. When we arrived at City Hall, 2 friendly women made me an official name tag with my picture on it. They had a little trouble with the computer, but I most certainly didn't mind waiting. When they brought me upstairs and introduced me to Mr. Michael Outlaw, I found that I wasn't tense anymore. He had such a radiant personality, and it was easy to be comfortable with him. He showed me around the 5th floor and what he was responsible, which is finding ways to make Erie more diverse. He also introduced me to Renee, who was just as kind and intelligent. When Michael was showing me all of the research he has to do before he brings a topic to attention, it made me realize the amount of work everyone at City Hall puts in. Next, it was time for the press conference, the part I was most skittish about. I don't like talking in front of large groups, and knowing this would be broadcasted on the news made me even more nervous. Technically, I didn't have to say a word. I could have stood there in silence, but even just the thought of being on TV made my stomach turn. When it was time to start, the butterflies in my stomach seemed to accelerate faster and faster. However, stepping in front of the camera wasn't as bad as I presumed. For some reason, it felt almost natural to me, maybe because kids in my generation are in front of a camera almost every day. Next was the main event, meeting Mayor Chamber. When I finally had a conversation with the mayor, he wasn't like what I originally expected. In fact, he was better than I imagined. All the administrators at school told me he was a nice person, and after spending a day with him, I can agree with that. He wasn't a supercilious man. In fact, he treated everyone around the office with respect. He told me all the plans he had for Erie, and they all sounded inevitably beneficial. I truly believe Mayor Chamber is going to make a difference in our community. While at the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new market downtown, Oasis, you could see how invested he was in it. There's a lot of controversy with politicians, but speaking from experience, I think anyone who has ever met Mayor Chamber would say he's genuine. My favorite part about the whole day was visiting the Ben Wiley Memorial. Seeing some of the important faces of Black History Month and the impact Erie had during that time was quite educational. Being selected as mayor for the day was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I am eternally grateful to have made these memories. In the beginning, I was nervous, but if I could do it all over again, I definitely would.
So I just was, again, that was a great job by each and every one of you, Mahogany, Cameron, and Joshua, to get up here and speak in front of everybody. Did a tremendous job. I want to definitely give another shout out to Mr. Outlaw, who's in the back. Thank you for staying, and thank you to Mr. Mayor Joe Schember for making this initiative a success. Thank you, board.
Hopefully this is something we can do every year.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Bertrand.
Sure.
I left one student out. Would you mind if I added her in?
Absolutely. Go
My
right ahead.
apologies. She is from Strong Vincent and currently at Collegiate Academy. Her parents are both Vincent grads, and her name is Alyssa Belzak.
Congratulations, they saved the bus for last.
We have a presentation of high school program updates presented by Ms. Pamela McCoskey, Director of Career and Technical Education.
Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Polito, Assistant Superintendent Habersky. On behalf of my colleagues, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to present to you the great things that are happening at Erie High and Collegiate Academy for next year. All right. There we go. Our maritime program had a very successful start this year. We currently have 18 students participating in the program. They're learning basic navigation. They built 6-hour canoes and are working on the Porcupine in boat building. They had a basic sailing class. They went out on the Taco several times last fall and will go out again in the spring. They built and are testing an ROV, a remotely operated underwater vehicle, in the Erie High pool. In year 2, the courses will build on the year 1 courses. Navigation 2 will get students ready to captain their own vessel by learning to plot a route and set a course on a chart. The Maritime Engineering course will introduce students to basic engine theory. Maintenance and repair class will teach students how to maintain a vessel and make minor repairs. And the beginning sailing class will get students into 2-man dinghies where they will learn to captain a vessel. The Maritime Careers will explore a variety of on and offshore jobs both in this area and worldwide. These students are also earning industry certifications. So far, they've earned CPR, first aid, and AED through the Coast Guard. They will also get their PA Safe Boater certificate by the end of this year, and next year they will earn their Transportation Worker Identification credential. Next up is our aviation program. For 1920, this will be a new program at Erie High. The Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association received millions of dollars in donations to develop a high school program, STEM-based aviation curriculum specifically to get high school students interested in flight. The curriculum is aligned to the next-gen science standards and national math standards. The curriculum is provided to area high schools at no cost. We were selected as one of over 100 schools nationwide to participate in this program. Erie High will offer the introductory course this coming school year. The curriculum comes complete with everything the teacher needs to teach the students, all the worksheets, activities, instructions, as well as differentiation for struggling students as well as advanced students. The program builds over the next 4 years, and students will have the opportunity to take the FAA Part 107 exam, which is the commercial drone certification. Commercial drones are currently gaining quite a bit of popularity as they are used in the realtor industry. Penelec is using them, farmers are using them, as well as a lot of other applications worldwide. We also have some new electives that we're sharing now with Collegiate Academy at Erie High School. FANUC is the leading manufacturer of robotic arms that are used in manufacturing. Several local businesses use them, including Plasticos, Erie's Magnetics, and Industrial Sales and Manufacturing. Students will learn the basics of operating and programming the arm for simple movement in the Engineering, Career, and Tech Lab and earn an industry-recognized certification. The Nurse Aid Training Program will be a full-year 2-credit course for collegiate students who will then be able to sit for the state nursing exam. For the Erie High students, our Career and Tech Department offered last year an auto mechanics maintenance and repair course, as well as a home maintenance and repair course. And this year, our culinary department is going to offer a bakeology class where students will learn the basics of baking, including the chemical and scientific processes that go along with that, and they will earn a Safe Serve certification. Students will also have the opportunity to take a STEM-based project engineering class where they will learn the engineering process, and that's a collaboration between the engineering teachers and math teachers at Erie High to solve problems through project-based learning.
Good evening. I'm Nora Dolak, Director of Curriculum and Assessment. I am here to give some updates on cybersecurity, computer science, and STEM offerings. One goal that we have is to incorporate coursework and certifications into our current CTE computer programming courses. We want our students to graduate with industry credentials so that they are prepared to immediately gain employment that is, living wage employment, and credentials such as A+, Security+, Network+, will be available to our students so that they can get good employment immediately following high school. We will create additional standalone courses focused on coding and gaming, and actually Rick Schneider will explain a little bit more about those on the next slide. And we have a couple of grants available to us now. Pam Mikowski and myself, in conjunction with Mercyhurst University, applied for 2 grants that were specifically for computer science and STEM technologies. The first grant was a targeted grant for $35,000, which we were approved for. That will be used primarily for 5th grade and to articulate 5th grade computer science skills through middle school. Right now, in 5th grade, there are no opportunities district-wide for students to learn computer science. So that would be a big improvement right there. The Advancing Grant is $500,000. We were one of only 23 districts in the state who received this grant. It will give us a lot of opportunities around computer science. We will get brand new computer labs at Erie High School and Collegiate Academy. We will be partnering with Mercyhurst University to provide guidance and resources to develop curriculum, training for our teachers, and summer coding camps for students in grades 5 through 12 that will start this summer. More to follow soon about that because we're excited to start recruiting. It's also allowing us to partner with Erie Together and Northwest PA Job Connect for career exploration, internship opportunities, job opportunities for our high school students, and we are also partnering with the Innovation District. They are doing a lot of the elective courses, which will include an esports league, hackathon, and computer programming competitions. All of these fall in line with our strategic plan goal 3 to, mastery of academic subjects and related arts. And it actually places us several years ahead of where we would have been had we not been awarded these grants. So it's a very exciting opportunity. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Rick Schneider. I'm one of the assistant principals for academics at Erie High School. We are working on a number of computer science and coding, both classes and other initiatives in both Collegiate Academy and Erie High School. The first of which is an Amazon grant. We, in addition to the other 2 grants that Nora spoke about, we received a grant through Amazon back in December to train teachers and provide curriculum for our teachers to teach computer science classes in 3 different courses over the next 2 years in a rollout at both Collegiate Academy and Erie High School. So our teachers will be getting started with that within the next few weeks here. As a matter of fact, I have a phone call on Friday to receive the information and get them rolling with the curriculum and work through the training and get that process started. So we will now be able to offer computer science 1 and 2 classes at Erie High School and also a computer programming course, which is primarily coding and using JavaScript and also Python for the upcoming school year. We actually kind of have a little bit of a head start on this because one of our teachers named Jordan Lander took the initiative on his own to participate in the code.org training this past school year and started to implement that this school year with our students, and we're happy to say he's done a fantastic job with it. We're going to show you in just a moment. He's created, helped the students create an app and also a website to go along with it, and they're working to solve problems for students just like them in our community. And we're happy to say that we're going to be also looking to offer AP Computer Science principles at both Erie High School and Collegiate Academy in the upcoming school year. AP Computer Science Principles is a survey computer science course that will give students a broad exposure to computer science concepts. It's a great stepping stone for students who may want to go on to heavier computer science and AP Computer Science A, and a further complement to the rest of the courses that we're looking to offer. So what you can see here is a screenshot from the app that Mr. Lander and his students built. We did invite Mr. Lander to present his work with his students. Unfortunately, this evening, he's working in a second job to help support his family. So he did pass along some information to kind of share with us. So I took some screenshots of the app. As you can see, they call it Vibe. And really the center focus of the app itself and the website that they made to go along with it is to help students who are experiencing they're experiencing depression or possibly anxiety, and to let them know that there is help available, and then to start connecting students who suffer from those ailments with people who can help out. So they worked pretty hard at developing the app, and they were invited to and took part in the Governor's STEM competition presentations a few weeks ago at the IU, and did very, very well. Unfortunately, they lost out to an RC car that was broken and never worked properly in the first place somehow. But I'd say they may have gotten robbed there a little bit, because they created a functioning app that does quite well and an accompanying website to solve a real problem for students just like them. And we're very proud of the work that they did. In addition to this, we're also kind of revamping some of our work around seminar courses. So Erie High School has offered a freshman seminar course and a senior seminar course, and this is actually traced back to Strong Vincent and East high schools. They offered these courses in the past. And we have found that our students have a lot of different needs that we're going to try to satisfy through these courses, and the needs are going to vary a little bit at each different grade level. So the plan here is that the career and tech students are going to get a lot of this coursework through their career and tech courses, and then all of the non-career and tech students at Erie High School are going to take these seminar courses in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So the courses are going to help us do a number of different things. So in 9th grade, they're going to help all of our students ensure that we have a base that we can work with when it comes to basic computer skills. And that's not necessarily computer science. This is more Microsoft Word and Office, and so that they have the communication skills that would be necessary for a lot of the other classes that use technology. So they're going to get a base in that skill set. In each of these classes, they're going to pursue career interest and work through guidance curriculum to further their own knowledge about themselves and what their possible futures may contain, and they're going to take real steps toward making that future a reality through the scheduling processes that will take place, and then also aligning their education or goals for after high school with a real career in mind. In addition, our plan is to roll in the Ice House curriculum into these courses. We feel very strongly that it has a number of components that can be used not just for entrepreneurship, but also for character education and for really kind of building a strong base for all of our students and a way of communicating between our students and teachers that can really help out with our school culture and really move things forward in that light. In addition, a lot of the concepts in the Ice House training program are PA Future Index ready, and so we can use that as artifacts for the PA Future Ready Index. So to kind of wrap all this together, our students are going to be trained in the use of Naviance in these classes. They're going to complete their PA Future Ready Index artifacts in these classes. They're going to do their career work in these classes, and they're going to learn a lot about all the different steps they need to take to pursue careers or further education after high school and take real steps to put all of those things in place for themselves. As you can see down at the bottom, we have a couple of different sets of concepts that will be taught in two different groups from the Ice House program. Choice, opportunity, knowledge, and action will be a part of the 9th and 10th grade curriculum. And then resourcefulness, reliability, community, and persistence will be parts of the 11th and 12th grade curriculum. And if you know a little bit about the Ice House curriculum, I'm sure you've seen a number of the presentations so far. there's an opportunity to go really deep with these topics and do quite a bit with them. Lastly, we're also very proud to say that there will be some real work done with some local companies, St. Vincent and Erie Insurance, in these courses, but I'm actually going to turn the mic over to Miss Barb Zimmer so that she can continue to talk about that and also tell you a little bit more about some of the other things that we have planned for our kids.
Thanks. Thank you. Good evening. I'm Barb Zimmer. I'm one of the assistant principals at Erie High School as well. Going off of what Mr. Schneider just mentioned, we've been extremely lucky that we have had local communities and companies reach out to us to talk to us about collaborating on different projects. And so Erie Insurance had reached out to us in regards to careers, and so we thought that it had a really good fit with our 11th grade seminar classes. St. Vincent had reached out to us, and we thought it was a good fit for our 10th grade seminar classes. So the students in those groups will be able to actually go visit those companies, tour, and see the different types of careers that are available in both of those companies. In addition, a collaboration that's taking place right now, and the education one isn't new, but it is becoming more and more robust this year and moving forward, is our education program. The education program was built with the idea that it's going to be a pipeline so that our students that are at Erie High School, that we put that spark in them so that perhaps they will come back and be teachers for us one day. So we currently have teachers, or hopefully soon to be teachers, in that program. The students have some classes that they can take as electives: Intro to Teaching 1 and 2, The Art of Argument, Child Development 1 and 2, Psychology, Sociology. Those classes aren't solely for students who are interested in education, but anyone can take them. But as they get to 11th and 12th grade, they're able to take dual enrollment classes through Edinboro. The professors have actually been coming to Erie High School, so the students have been able to take the course at no charge. The students have also been provided with the materials, so no charge for books. And it's been, very successful. We've had really good luck with the professor. He's very engaging. Our students are really enjoying the class, this particular round of it. So the idea is that they could have a 3-credit college course in the fall, and then spring, so 11th grade, 12th grade. So they end up with, what is that, 12 credits? 12 credits before they graduate. So, and then if they choose to, they can, roll those credits right into Edinboro or transfer them to an accepting university. Another program that we have is the Healthcare in Exercise and Sports Medicine. That also is another program that is in place right now. So this is the second year of it. The coursework has been developed. It is on the schedule, ready to go. We have 34 students currently in the program, and we had 21 8th graders actually sign up for that program. The reason that we kind of started calling them programs is because we didn't want the kids to think that they had to take that if they were interested in that particular area, that they had to take all of those classes. So let's say that they were interested in education and they wanted to take Intro to Teaching. They can take just that class, get a little taste of it, and then if they want to take that, then they can go on and take the whole program. So we kind of opened it up a little, made it a little bit broader in terms so that the kids had more availability to it. The entrepreneurship is a program that will start next year because we'll be getting all of those middle school students have gone through Ice House. And so it's the basic business and entrepreneurship skills. So we'll have all of those classes being taught, or all those skills being taught in the seminar. And then we have existing courses at Erie High School that can meet the needs of those, such as we have a personal finance class that's going to begin, an economics class, and some other ones that'll feed into that. Where's my clicker? Where'd he go? Oh, thank you. The next thing is collaborations between Collegiate Academy and Erie High School. One of the collaborations that we've talked about is in theater production. So in the CTE program, we have the construction trades, and the theater production, they have needs at, well, both Erie High School and at Collegiate in terms of building sets and things like that. So there's going to start to be some more partnerships between those two groups to work on that. The Maritime program has been opened up to the Collegiate Academy students. So they are more than welcome to take the whole program, or they can sign up for a class period and kind of get a sampling of what it would be like to be in that program. And obviously, well, and that one would lead possibly to like a pipeline. There's a lot of kids who have interest in volunteering on the brig, and that could lead to some more partnerships there. AP classes. So the AP classes at Erie, I believe we have about 6 of them. They have 27 at Collegiate. They can sustain 27, we cannot. But if our students are interested in taking an AP class that we don't have, then we can do scheduling so that our kids can go up to Collegiate to take those classes. So we're going to do a partnership to support that. And then the last thing is aquatics and lifeguarding. So Collegiate does not have a pool. We do. So we are offering the aquatics class. We have lifeguarding, where the kids can get certification. There's a desperate need in Erie for lifeguards, whether it's at pools, Splash Lagoon, the Peninsula. There's some good paying jobs there for teens, and so if we can get them that Red Cross certification, then that can help them get jobs. And then the last thing is just some comparison, or like just a little bit of information, because if you thought that that was a lot of electives and things that we talked about now, we just wanted to kind of give you an overall view of like how many classes we have. So at Erie High School, we have over 200 courses, 90 electives, 90 plus electives. We have 18 career and tech offerings. We have dual enrollment options through Gannon, Edinboro, and partnerships with Mercyhurst and Penn State Behrend. And this year we opened up 2 career fairs, and so we had over 350 juniors and seniors go through to our career fairs. So they were able to meet with college reps. At Collegiate Academy, they have over 160 courses offered with 65 plus elective offerings. Like I mentioned, they have 27 advanced placement courses, and they have dual enrollment options through Gannon, Mercyhurst, and Penn State Behrend. They don't have the option of Edinboro. However, just so you're aware, the option that we have with Edinboro is through the education program, and Collegiate Academy students interested in teaching are also invited to come down and take those classes at Erie High. So we have a very good partnership. We think it's strong, and I'm going to turn it over to Dana, and he will give you an update on Collegiate. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I wanted to give you an update on the Visual and Performing Arts Academy Magnet School and a couple of the highlights that we've been working on in preparation for next school year and also throughout the last couple of years. First and foremost is we have renamed our 3 major art classes from Art 1, 2, and 3 to what you see on the screen there: Foundations of Drawing and Color Theory, Intermediate Drawing and Color Theory, and the Advanced Drawing and Color Theory for Portfolio Development. And when you see that for portfolio development, that class in particular is a precursor for the AP Art portfolio course. But the thing that's worth noting is that any of these courses, students can submit, if they're planning on doing the trajectory into AP Art, they are able to submit those toward their portfolio requirement, 24 art pieces for their AP requirement, should they choose to do so. Another change for next year also is because these classes that you see on the screen are a semester class each. For the Advanced Drawing and Color Theory, the students will be afforded an opportunity to take that course twice, and here's why. That course is not really the type of art course we'd have the teacher just standing in front and doing the same project together with the whole class. It gives the students an opportunity, it's more self-directed. So if they want to focus, maybe a semester with more energy on the drawing and the other one more on painting or something of that nature, especially if they're looking to take AP and then go into art following that, we felt this would avail more of an opportunity for them. For the music end of things here, for this current school year, we added a section of men's voice, and what that really entails is more of a vocal training for the young men, because Unlike for the girls where we have women's chorus, because so many young ladies come up and want to sing in the women's choir, the boys, when they would come up as freshmen, would be put into chamber singers, which is their much more advanced concert choir style group. So we created a men's voice section this year where the young men have an opportunity to have more individualized instruction with the choral directors to hone their skills so they're better prepared for chamber singers. You'll see also that we have guitar 1 and 2, piano 1 and 2. Those courses are very popular for us. The piano sections, I believe we have a keyboard lab of 25 pianos, and I think we have 4 or 5 sections of those, and they're pretty much all full, to give you an idea of the popularity of those programs. And we reinstituted concert band for this year, which is an intermediate instrumental ensemble. Our goal now, especially that we have instrumental and choral music in all of our middle schools, and it's equal across the board here. Hopefully, down the road, we will be able to eliminate intro to band because the students will have had that opportunity in middle school. So we will be able then to focus more on concert band and wind ensemble as a more advanced high school ensembles. I also wanted to give the board and the administration an update on the Erie High School Marching Band. As you may know, the Erie High School Marching Band was housed at Strong Vincent for many years. And when we got Erie High School together here, we have relocated the marching band over to where they belong at Erie High. I wanted to let you also know that last year, the Erie High School Marching Band, while they were small in numbers, they were very mighty in performance. They'd gone out and taken first place in Class A and won every caption award against, I believe, 5 other bands. So that's a tribute to the students, the work they do, and the staff. As you can see on the screen in front of you there, I've been in communication with the marching band director and his assistant, and they've informed me that we are looking at a 75 to maybe as high as 100% increase in student enrollment for this coming marching band season. So with that being said, I feel it's important that I thank the board and the administration for their support and the vision they have for the fine arts. It's an uphill battle that many fine arts programs all across the state and country deal with lack of support, but not in this district. And I want to thank you all very much for that.
So the next 27 slides are going to be on the advanced placement program. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oops. Oh, there we go. So just as kind of been mentioned before and reiterating, 2 new classes we're adding as advanced placement computer science principles, which will build on our programming class as well as our AP computer science. It's the logical next step for that. Mock trial, which has been a club for us, been very successful, and in their competitions. So we decided to, with the change in time schedule, we're having difficulty getting both the students and the attorneys they practice with at school. So we're going to incorporate that during the school day. But we are going to make it the first half of the year because the competitions will take place in January. So it's just seemed logical to kind of move it at that time. And we're very excited to have all our junior lawyers in training for us so that they can come and represent Collegiate Academy in the future. And that concludes this presentation, I believe, correct? Correct. Yay. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to present a certificate of appreciation to Noah Sheldon for your service as student representative to the Board of Directors of Erie Public Schools for February 2019 and March 2019.
Well, I would like to first say that I am very grateful for all the opportunities that I've been given, and it has been a great time with you guys here on the board. I'm really grateful to my school. I go to Collegiate Academy, and I'm grateful for my deans, Mr. Vieira, Mr. Gilmore, Mr. Cosgrove, and one of the deans that I had freshman year as well, Mr. Schneider, for molding me into the individual that I am today. And it really is just amazing, and I thank you guys all for your time.
Thank you. Yes. I'd like to announce the board met in executive session on Wednesday, February 20th, 2019 in conference room 3 at the Dr. James E. Barker Leadership Center, 148 West 21st Street, from 12:16 p.m. to 12:44 p.m. regarding legal and personnel matters. on Wednesday, March 6, 2019, in Conference Room 3 at the Dr. James E. Barker Leadership Center, 148 West 21st Street, from 6:24 p.m. to 6:55 regarding personnel matters. And this evening, Wednesday, March 13, 2019, in the library at East Middle School, from 5:14 p.m. to 5:24 p.m. regarding legal and personnel. At this time, we're going to do something just a little bit different real quick. We're going to do reports of committees and liaisons because we have a special presentation. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. McNair.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Tonight we're going to do something that we haven't done before, but I'm excited that we're doing on behalf of Black History Month. We are going to be presenting certificates of appreciation to 3 women that I would like to have them come join me on the stage. Ms. Carla Hughes, Ms. Carol Troop, and Ms. Armanda Ties. And this is from Erie's Public Schools Certificate of Appreciation presented on March 13th, 2019, that is recognizing you all for your service as educators and community supporters in Erie's public schools and in the city of Erie. And I don't know Ms. Hughes very well, but I know of her, and I know that she does a lot of good work in the community and with my daughter at Collegiate. Give her a hand. Like, your students here represent you tonight. These other 2 women I've known my whole entire life. I've known Miss Armanda Ties since forever, and trust me, they're not getting these awards because I know them. You all voted for them. I polled you all, and these are the people that you came up with. And she's an amazing woman. Anytime you call on her for anything in the community, she's there for you. She's there for the kids at her school, does an amazing job. Even had to put my son in check. So she's an amazing staff member to have at our schools. And then Miss T, we call her Miss T at Jumpstart. She's one of the pillars in our community. She has been servicing the city of Erie her whole life. We come from a family that that's what they do. They service the community, and she's an amazing teacher. When I used to go to her class at Piper Burley, she had the most calm class that you would walk into. She always kept some incentives in her room, and the kids worked very hard in her classroom. I seen her teaching, the students in her room, and she did an amazing job. She taught kids that were bigger than me. I walk in there, and are they students or staff? And these are her students, and she did a really good job, and she's continuing on, with the Jumpstart students, doing an amazing job with them as well. Very well respected in our community. And I love and appreciate all of you ladies, and I look up to all of you guys. You do an amazing job. And we at Erie's Public Schools and the Erie School Board, our president, Frank Petrunger, and Angela McNair as the community liaison, just want to present you with these awards and tell you how much we appreciate you.
Do one more. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Thank you.
Congratulations, thank you. Thank you so much. At this time, for most of you, what you've been waiting for, I asked Mr. Ken Nixon to come up and start the stair climber. And if my cohorts would come with me on the stage.
Thank you, Mr. Petrunger. The Stick-to-It Stair Climber Award is our monthly student recognition award, which I want to thank the superintendents and assistant superintendent and the board, as well as all of our district staff, especially our schools, our principals, and our teachers that vote for this student every month. This vote is for the stair climber, which is indicative of a student that shows improvements in their attendance, their behavior, positive behavior, as well as their classroom performance. So with me tonight, I have Mrs. Diane Sutton, Director of Teaching and Learning, to help support with the plaques, which I really appreciate. And we're going to bring down all of our students. I'll just ask students when you come down, I'll give you a quick fist bump. You'll step over to Mrs. Sutton, grab your plaque. You'll get a first picture with Dawn here, and then you'll stand with the board as a whole, and we'll do one large group photo. If you had a photo opt-out, you do not have to participate, so feel free to get your plaque, and you can step off the stage, no problem. Afterwards, we'll then step out, and we'll do individual pictures with your administrator, your assistant principal, or I'll stand in to help support for your individual building pictures. So without further ado, let's get to our March 2019 stair climbers. Our first one, I know he had to leave due to work, but from Erie High School, 11th grader, Devarjay Jones. So Devarjay Jones, oops, sorry. This is a great group. We still recognize people even if they're here. That's what we should do. Devarjay Jones has worked very hard to improve his grade. He was able to raise his grade 30%, achieving a passing grade for the quarter and semester. Devarjay's last month in my class was an impressively dramatic improvement. I wish Devarjay the best and hope he continues this effort for his other teachers. We will, Dawn and I, what we do, if anybody doesn't show, we do make a special trip to the student and at the building and take a picture with him, her, and their administrator. Okay, next up is going to be from Collegiate Academy, a 10th grader. Juels has significantly improved his attendance from last year to this year. He has an improved attitude regarding school, which shows in his becoming more involved with school. This year alone, he has participated in multiple school performances. So ladies and gentlemen, 10th grader Juels Crosby. From East Middle School, 6th grader. Naomi has a great attitude towards school and has started to become a leader among her peers. Ladies and gentlemen, Naomi Elverton. Seventh grader from Strong Vincent. When asked to think of a student who embodies tenacity and grit, we look no further than Yaralise Lager Torado. She is the perfect example of how resilience, endurance, and strength set you apart from the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, Yaralise Lager Torado. Eighth grader from Wilson Middle School. Joshua has improved in both his behavior and his grades, as well as being a positive addition to the basketball team. Joshua Lopez. We did confirm all 16 schools, so there must be some things going on. It's all right. Fifth grader from Grover Cleveland. Donovan is a member of our Cougar Patrol and is placed at the front entrance because of his contagious smile. He has received numerous positive office referrals for his kindness and helpfulness. Several times our guest teachers have asked who that very kind and helpful student is. His consistent academic performance and phenomenal attendance has earned him this nomination. So, ladies and gentlemen, Donovan Mahoney. Fifth grader from Connell, Travion, has improved his academics significantly this year. He now puts in 100% of his effort into every assignment and impressing his teachers every day with his fortitude. So, ladies and gentlemen, Travion Goodwin. Second grader from Deal Elementary School. Dakota has shown great leadership in his classroom. His reading fluency has increased by over 25 words, and he has been a great support to fellow classmates. Dakota Silba. First grader from Edison. Rajon has shown tremendous growth with his learning this year. He has tripled the number of words that he has learned this year and continues to progress towards his goal. His behavior has also improved in his classroom and in the cafeteria. He is becoming one of the leaders in his classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, first grader Rajon Crockett. Fifth grader from Harding. Willie has overcome many personal obstacles this year, and we are so proud of him. His grades, behavior, and attendance are excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, Willie Ash Jr. Fifth grader from Jefferson. Anja Chaliz has made great progress in her grades and attendance. She comes to school ready to learn. Ladies and gentlemen, Anja Chaliz Maldonado. Okay, good. I practiced. Fifth grader from Lincoln Elementary School. Damon has improved his behavior greatly. He is now a leader in our Bully Busters Club. Ladies and gentlemen, Damon Amison, Jr. Good job. Pretty tall. Fourth grader from McKinley Elementary. Dylan has made great progress since the beginning of the year. He has been a model McKinley Mariner, and he continues to improve his behavior, grades, attendance, and classroom social interactions. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Edgett. Fifth grader from Perry. Namari has persevered through academic challenges and does not believe in giving up. Her positive attitude is infectious to both students and teachers. She believes in doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Ladies and gentlemen, Namari Nelson. Fifth grader from Piper Burley. After a rough start to the year, Tyrell has become a model student. He has brought his grades up to A's and B's and often assists peers in class. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyrell Dunn. sixth grader from the DePaulo Success Center. Cyber student working diligently and has completed all of his sixth grade coursework by March. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Crosby. It's a proud moment. Daniel and I go back all the way to Edison, so to see him on stage progressing is tremendous. So ladies and gentlemen, this is our March 2019 Stair Climbers. Picture shot. Thank you. Bless you. Welcome. Everybody look this way. Good job, kids. And 3, 2, 1. Good job.
Anybody else have anything for committee and liaisons?
Mr. President.
Go ahead.
I just want to report on the Erie Land Bank's last meeting. Our executive director, Mr. Henry, stated that the $5,000 allocation to the city council's budget was received and deposited. We're working on our work plan. The initial work plan includes 19 properties for which the County Land Bank agreed to fund acquisition and disposition. A bid was submitted to the county for one property being purchased, and similar approvals will be coming to us at the Erie School District, and Erie City Council are expected to be forthcoming. Appraisals have been obtained for the other 18 properties, and the title searches have been conducted. There'll be some condemnation actions that are being prepared, and Mr. Henry will be meeting with the attorneys later this week to review and schedule the filings. Once the condemnation actions are filed, notification attempts to the property owners will begin, and the owners will have 30 days to file objections. Some of you that might read the Homes magazine, like I do, may have seen some of those acquisitions that were reported in that publication. So that's what I have for the Erie Land Bank.
Thank you.
IU Board and Mr. Superintendent, you might have to write a book now. So the intermediate unit has given us a book from Eric Kincaid, who is the superintendent of Fairview. And so I have 10 copies of this that I need to distribute to the 10 elementary schools in the district. Also, the IU will be presenting to us, I believe, is it next month, the intermediate unit? Is that?
I'm not sure.
That's what they said at our meeting. And that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Right. Anybody else? If not, can I have a motion to accept the reports? Anybody?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Mr. Harkins, second by Tyler. Yeah, that was getting there. Yeah, I'm just finishing what I did up here with her, and then it's going to be you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We will now move on to the superintendent's report.
Our meeting is a little long tonight, so I'll be very brief. I just want to point out a couple things. On Saturday, February 23rd, the Strong Vincent Middle School Quiz Bowl team placed first out of 48 teams during a tournament in Ohio. The team will move on to the national championships in a few months. And congratulations to Collegiate Academy student Kaylee Brown. She placed second as violin chair out of 24 students in the PMEA Western Regional Orchestra Festival on February 21st. Kaylee will now advance to the All-State Orchestra Festival, which will be held in Pittsburgh April 3rd through 6th. We just do have a couple upcoming events. Collegiate Academy will have some student artwork featured at the Barber Center Celebrating the Possibilities Art Show from Friday, April 5th through Monday, April 8th. The exhibit will be open to the public from noon to 3 p.m. during those days. And on Saturday, March 23rd, we will hold our first Student Voices public forum at East Middle School in the auditorium from 1 to 2 p.m. The forum will feature both a question and answer period and open discussion led by a panel of EPS graduate and current students. Erie High School will also present its spring production of An Evening with Edgar Allan Poe. That will be held on Friday, April 12th and Saturday, April 13th. The play is a collection of 6 short plays adapted from short stories by Edgar Allan Poe. And that concludes my report.
I have a motion to accept.
So moved.
Mr. Harkins, do I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Feeney? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing the citizens, persons desiring to speak for 5 minutes must submit their request in writing to the Secretary's office at least 1 week prior to the board meeting. All others may speak for 3 minutes. We have no one on the books for 5-minute speakers. 3-minute speakers, please state your name, your name and address on the tablet provided on the podium. Do we have any 3-minute speakers?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Darlene Henderson. Did you want my address too?
Yeah, right on that tablet, that's all.
My name is Darlene Henderson. I have 5 children that attend Erie School District. And on last Wednesday, I believe, I had a high school student that was put out of Erie High School by a police officer, and I, as a parent, was not notified. And as of the following morning at 8 o'clock, I still hadn't received anything from the Erie School District. It's a concern to me that I would entrust my child to teachers that would find it necessary to put him out of school without notifying his parents. I work 4 minutes away, and he was being disruptive. I can own that. I still would never expect that my son be put out of a school building by a police officer and a parent not be notified. I did speak to Miss Maylin, I believe, that morning, the following morning, and asked her to look into it. And she did get back to me, and I appreciate that. I haven't heard anything else since then. It bothers me that that would happen. Anything could have happened to any child that was done to, and it would not be right for me. I expect more. I think every parent in Erie deserves more. And on top of that, because he was being disruptive, and I will own that and can own that as a parent, he was then also suspended for 5 days. As of right now, I still have not received notification of that other than through another child of mine. I find all of that unacceptable and would really like someone to respond to it, or I will go to the newspaper about it. I just don't think it's acceptable.
Mrs. Henderson?
Yes.
If you want to wait till after the board meeting, our Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. Habersky, will meet with you, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Let me write my name down. Okay. Good evening. My name is Juanita M. Stokes. I am not only a native of Erie, PA, I attended and graduated from East High School and Edinburgh University. As I stated, I completed college, so my educational ideas have been greatly influenced locally. I have been working as a full-time building substitute teacher at Erie High School for the past 2 months. I have a great deal of working experience with helping students with job readiness, completing job applications, showing them how to construct a resume. I have also assisted students with developing a weekly plan sheet. These skills are vital to their success. I also have a nursing certificate, a certified nursing certificate, which helps when I'm working with the medical students in class at Erie High. I say all this to express that with all my attributes, my pay in your district is $80 a day, which equals $11 an hour, roughly $1,000 a month net income, without benefits. That is appalling. I was made aware by
Excuse me, 1 second. Jen? She can talk. She can talk? Okay, we just had to check because a lot of times we're not allowed to have employees talk. So, but you're okay. I apologize. I had to be sure.
Okay. I was made aware by HR about an opening in Career Tech for the remainder of the school year. Now, think about this as a teacher of that classroom. I will have to manage a homeroom, create lesson plans, grading, dress professionally, and manage behaviors, and still for only $80 a day. Whereas teacher pay duties is $33 an hour. Do you really think $11 is sufficient? You came up with a strategic plan to hire more minority teachers. You are not paying a competitive salary. You require a college degree, clearances for $11 an hour is not sustainable. Jobs such as Target, Victoria's Secret, and a bank teller pay more than $11 an hour. As I've stated before, I'm appalled about your pay wages for substitute teachers. That needs to change. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I am a community member, so I should be able to speak even if I'm an employee.
Well, we do have some rules, so we have to make sure we follow them.
That's all right.
Hi, good evening. My name is Henry Pulaski. I'm a sophomore at Collegiate Academy, and hoping that you can respond to my question. I was just wondering if I could have an explanation as to why the decision was made to remove hoodies from the permitted dress code. I mean, personally, obviously there are reasons, I'm sure, why this decision was made, but I just personally think that not only do they promote school spirit and comfort, which can obviously benefit students greatly, considering our temperatures fluctuate from classroom to classroom throughout the day. From my own personal experience, I just wanted some clarification as to why this decision was made.
Well, we can't really respond back and forth. That's not the purpose of the podium. It's to express your feelings.
Okay.
But we could probably have you, who can we have him talk to?
I can probably address this pretty quickly.
You want to address it? Okay, superintendent wants to address it.
Sure. We did institute that last year due to some security issues with students where if there was an altercation or something and the hood was up, we wouldn't be able to identify the student on camera. However, we've heard loud and clear from students over this past year that they want us to revisit that, and we do have a student handbook meeting scheduled here in the next a couple weeks, and we will be seriously reconsidering that decision.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
just, I also wanted to note that there aren't cameras inside the buildings of Collegiate. There are on the outside, but just want to make that clear. But thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak? If not, we'll move on. We have no unfinished business. We have new business.
Mr. Chairman, I move we adopt items 6 and 7 on the agenda, that being the new business and supplemental new business of the school district.
We have a motion by Mr. Harkins. Second by Linda. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I just want to comment on 7.01. This is us waiving the board policy on responsible contracting within the district for turf replacement project at Veterans Memorial Stadium. A month ago, we had a thorough airing of our responsible contractor policy, and this tonight is simply a specific waiver based on rationale given to us by the superintendent and his staff that we accepted to do. But because it speaks to the turf replacement, I just want to go on record as being reluctant, hesitant, and at this moment opposed to making any change, dramatic change in the theme of the logo at the stadium when the time comes. I realize we discussed this briefly at our committee of the whole, and you, Mr. President, have appointed a committee which will take into consideration the intended suggestion, which is to honor the spirit of Erie High School with the logo at the center and the end zones having the name of the school team, the Royals. My point is that this is a deviation from the intended purpose of what the facility is. The Erie Veterans Stadium is much more than a football field or an athletic facility, a school facility. It's a multi-purpose civic structure that was dedicated to the memories of the Erie County veterans of World War I who passed away. And subsequently, that honor was extended to all veterans. And the logo should reflect the purpose and use of the stadium, not just one aspect. So I don't want to be closed-minded and unwilling to consider what the committee will come up with and say and recommend, but I just think it's important not to wander away lightly from the original purpose of the facility. That's all.
Thank you. If no one else, roll call, please.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair? Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Yes. Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. Approval of the minutes for February 13th and 20th, 2019.
I move that we accept them.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Feeney, second by Mr. Harkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bills and payroll.
We approve them for payment as presented.
We have a motion to approve by Mr. Harkins. Second by Linda. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair? Yes. Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Yes. Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. Report of the secretary for the 7-month period ending January 31st, 2019.
I move we approve that.
Motion by Mr. Harkins.
Second.
Second by Mr. Fabrizi. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair? Yes. Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Yes. Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. We have no awards on bids. And any other matter? Yes.
Mr. President, I just wanted to take a moment. First, I know we don't engage in the back and forth when they come up to the podium, but I always wanted to call out students when they do come to the board meetings. I think it's imperative that your guys' voices be heard, and I just want to myself say that I'm really proud of you guys for coming and standing up for something that you believe in. I think that's really important, and you guys send a great message out to the rest of the student body and to the community. So I commend you for, it's not always easy to come up to the podium and kind of take us all on, so to speak, as we sit behind the board, right? So I commend you guys for doing that. And then second, I just wanted to take a minute to remind everybody about the E3 LGBTQ Youth Summit that I'm doing that is free to all Erie students. It's geared towards the LGBT community. It'll be held at Strong Vincent. We're gonna have a concert on April 12th, and then on the 13th, we will have a summit. It's a day of learning. It's free to everybody or anybody under the age of 21 who would like to come. They just have to register at thegreaterealliance.com. And so I think it's really important that we kind of come together as a community and build up those who might not have the strongest of voices. And so this summit, I think, is geared to do just that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I just want to personally thank Pam and Nora and Rick and Barb and Dana for the presentation tonight. It shows that there are a lot of great things going on in the Erie School District, and we're very happy to have you leading us in the direction that you are. I also want to mention that with our USDA implementation grant, that we had a first Harvest of the Month activity today at Collegiate, Jefferson, and Wilson. We were able to procure roasted potatoes. Actually, we had to go 360 miles to find a farmer, but we did. We brought the potatoes into the schools, and they were prepared, and I just wanted to let everyone know that the students really, really enjoyed having freshly prepared vegetables in their lunches. So they voted. The students at Collegiate, 80 said yes, we really enjoyed it. Jefferson had 88 yeses, and Wilson is going to be doing a written survey. I was also able to attend this as a taste tester with our county executive, Kathy Dahlkemper, and she also is embracing this initiative and has given us some direction on how we can work with the Farmers Bureau to move this forward.
Super, thank you. Anybody else? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Tyler.
Second.
Second by Mr. Harkins. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
Yes.